So I put together a triple dual deck the other day for Northern Realms, and I decided to go ahead and switch up the leader ability for Inspired Zeal, change out a couple cards. This one only does 2 duels, however I find it feels more consistent given that we always have Zeal when we need it, and you know, we don't have to float things like the Siege support and hope that we can give Rafford's Vengeance and Selkirk Zeal. This deck plays a bit quicker because we could do some things that we otherwise couldn't on the same turn. So with that being said, I would say that this one's probably a little bit more competitive than the previous version, each of which I like for their own reasons, but we can go through this one here. We've got Inspired Zeal, so boost an allied Northern Realms unit by 2 and give it Zeal with 3 charges, and because we have a charge-based leader ability, I felt like this one had more benefit for Radovid than Shield Wall, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff we can give Zeal. So the previous one didn't have Radovid, this one does. 2 extra leader charges plays for more value in this deck, in my opinion, so this card essentially just gives us those 2 extra charges. And then Crystal Skull, just to keep whatever engine we have on the board safe and ready to go. Maybe Dandelion would be something played early. Raffords could be played early. We can have a Frigate that we could play early. There's numerous different options, right? You don't really want to give Siege Tower the Crystal Skull in case it has Vitality if we can't get crew, so keep that one in mind, but most things should just be fine, right? And this way, allowing us to get the most value possible off a lot of these one-off engines that we can't duplicate, right? So super important there. Amphibious Assault's going to help us bring out a card in 2 different situations. So we have the ability to play a Northern Realms unit from our deck with a provision cost of 9 or less and boost it by 1 for each provision below the limit. So you can see here most of the deck is basically attainable from that, right? Dandelion down, we can get whatever we need. We're obviously not going to be playing Siege Masters from deck, but everything else is pretty fair game, and I don't really feel bad pulling anything with Amphibious, so to be able to do that twice throughout the game feels really good. However, there are a couple things that we can't tutor, and it's not going to be a huge problem because we do have another tutor being King Henselt, play a crew unit from our deck. Now, it's ideally going to be going for the Rafford's Vengeance. If we have this in hand, we have a really good secondary target being the Carrick Frigate, and then of course as backup we have the Siege Towers. Now you should just be fine grabbing one of the 2 main targets, and you know, taking mulligans to make this work out is pretty easy. Keep in mind this has a really good passive, so whenever adjacent units cooldown decreases, boost self by the same amount. If you guys look at the deck, we've got Raffords on cooldown, we have Dandelion on cooldown, we have the Frigate on cooldown, and then of course the Envoy and the Siege Towers. So quite a few units we could put one to either side of Henselt and get some really good value there, especially when we have ways to reduce cooldown like the Siege Masters, right? When you use the order of this, we have the Siege Support. If you use Deploy on melee, we have the Winches, which reduce cooldown. So tons of stuff there to make this a super big swing of a play, right? So don't undervalue Henselt. It's not just a thin, he's a really good engine himself. And something that I decided to throw in as a little bit of a wild card, this can't be tutored from anything else, but hopefully we could pull into it. We have enough thinning to make it work, right? Henselt thins 1, Amphibious thins 2, John thins 1, these thin 2, you know, then we have Envoy to help us top deck better. So pulling into Gerhardt just feels really good here. In the other version, it was a good Varaxis target. In this version, it's just something good we can keep. Because we are Devotion, sometimes we want to play a non-Devotion card. Like an Artifact Compression could be good at 5 provisions, right? We write Spell here, there's quite a lot. We have Scenario Answers, you know, we've got Locks. If you keep going here, we've got Simple Boosts, Replaying of Units. You know, we can go as far as getting Create and Play more engines. You can go as far as getting Replay something from Grave. Maybe we want to pull out a Frigate or something like that. And you can kind of just keep going up the list and find some crazy stuff. Curse of Corruption, right? Muzzle, you know. So really good pull potential with Gerhardt. And I just think it's something I like in there. Alternative to that would be something like Baron or Adalia, but I'm just finding that this plays for more points. Also synergizes with the crew ability of Rafford's Vengeance. So with this one here, really cool card. play a bronze unit from our hand, then draw a card with a cooldown of 5. Now, crew, whenever you play a unit next to this card, damage a random enemy by 2. Mages also contribute to this here, so you'll notice crew is triggered by soldiers normally, right? So like Henselt, Radovid, like these types of things. But then we have, these two wouldn't count, well these three technically, but look, Scoia'tael is, we have got Margarita, that's a mage category, you know what I mean? Quite a lot of soldiers and mages. We've got a couple humans in the deck, that's fine, we can't avoid it. We've got a couple sieges in the deck, it's whatever, but you know, having a couple extra targets with the mage tag is certainly pretty cool with these two mages here. So that's pretty much it. We got the 2 duels. Again, we can just use these same turn of. It's not as greedy as the other version that I had, but this is just more reliable. And Scoia'tael is going to be pulling a warfare card from our deck. So we have the amphibious, we have the boiling oil for damage if we need it, we have the winches. So in this case, you're just getting really good value from John. If I was to go a little greedier, like there are more warfare cards that you could play. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think you want maybe 2 boiling oils. I don't think we have enough sieges to really benefit from a bombardment. Stuff like smoke 'em out here is not very good, you know. Maybe you'd put in a reinforcements, but I kind of like the lock in that position here, so I think it's just good the way that it is right now. It's got a really healthy amount of warfares for John, and we never ruined that opportunity there, so that's it. Pretty much it. We've got Margarita for the lock, simple. You can use this whenever you want, so if we are forced to float it, at least we're not wasting it like we would in the case of a Deregare or something like that. Frigate's huge in this deck because it has a resupply now, so spawn a volunteer in this row, cooldown 2, and then set cooldown to 1 if we have crew. So we can basically get multiple procs in the same turn if we have the frigate out there and play a warfare in the same turn, and if we have siege masters on the board, we can reset cooldown to this to get potential 2 more boosts per turn, so we can actually take off and win around with a frigate. So that's why I said greedy version would have something like reinforcements, just so that you have, you know, maybe 2 rows stacked, but it can get kind of messy in that case, right? Because you do run out of space when you're playing a lot of these. So that's pretty well it here, just for the thinning, right? We talked about that. This is nice because it gives zeal, so we don't have to waste leader charges as well in the order, and just making sure we top deck better. So in this event, you know, we want to be boosting things for carryover with Dandelion. We want to make sure we have cards that we want to pull into with Envoy, so this helps us sort things out so we get the best top deck possible for, you know, the carryover play and just for the next round. So I like that there. Siege Tower is probably one of the best bronzes because it plays for a lot of value if left unchecked. So with this one here, essentially cooldown 2, and you're getting the 2 boost if you have it in crew. So you know, it's 1 point per turn essentially, or 2 points every other turn kind of thing. But it is an alternative winch target if we don't have Dandelion or we don't have Raffords around, right? Or frigate even. It's just something else we could play it onto. We've got a little bit more defense, right? Being able to boost something up and keep it going. This is going to be good for one of our engines, right? If this card has inspired, so if it's boosted, give 2 armor. Really helpful for helping float these, for floating a King Radovid if we don't want to take it, for keeping Rafford safe, for adding a little bit extra cushion for the duel. Dandelion keeping it inspired, right? A lot of good reasons to have Radovid's Royal Guards in the deck, and then Carrick Marines, just one of the best cards to run, I think, if you're running Devotion, because it's very flexible, right? It's 7 points, but you're putting 4 boost into something, and you know, the card that you're putting it into is probably more important than the Marine, so it really helps us kind of focus on keeping that top end healthy and strong. So that's pretty much it, guys. I got 4 games with live commentary for reference for you today, and I believe that we peaked at 2451 MMR with this. At the end of the 4 games that I played here today, I did another deck similar to this yesterday, and you guys can see there are some similarities. The other one had Varaxis King, this one doesn't. The other one didn't have Radovid, this one does, and just a couple minute changes, different leader, but I felt like they were different enough that I wanted to showcase both of them so that if you guys have a different style of play, maybe one suits you better. That's pretty much it, guys. we are pushing for 10k subs, almost there. So if you guys like the content that you see, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't seen my card reveal video, go check that one out. I posted it yesterday, and I'm really looking forward to coming back to streaming later on today. So look out for a live stream around lunchtime Eastern Daylight Time, so around 12:30 Eastern Time, and it'll be in the evening, early sort of prime time in Europe. So we'll hope to see you guys then. Until then though, let's get into the gameplay. So we got Guerilla Tactics coming up here next. We got the hand, don't we? Okay, look, we'll put this back because we have Hensel, which is fine. We want to have a lot of bronze cards now. So we'll put back Amphibious because we have Winch already. Radovid's good. Radovid's good. We can go pull one of the siege supports and then try and get Zeal. That's a lock. Kind of slows things down a little bit. I don't want to take duels and do all that now. I think it's fine just to take a lock. Yeah, plus it sets up crew as well for when we take the Vengeance, because the mage tag, right? I'm gonna play melee. Actually, this is tough. I expect that they're gonna remove things though, so yeah, that's fine. I was gonna say because the John Natalis, obviously we can jam the row, but I want to play around Bowman and things like that are more beneficial on the range row. Now I wish I had that boiling oil. I think we just fly anyways. By fly I just mean play stuff. Snipe. Wait, whoops. We got 50-50 here. That's what I wanted to do right there. Okay, we miss. They definitely want to get rid of the 1. Because Ornate Sensor looks really bad here if they leave it. Just, I have no way to deal. So Zeal is probably going to be for the Radovid this coming turn, because I feel like we got to get that dealt with. Sure. I guess that's alright. Take care of the Hensel. Fine. 3 is Winch. We'll take another one.
What do you want?
That's about as tall as we'll go. Get Radovid online too. Okay, we've got 25% chance of hitting. Let's see what we can do. Nice. It looks good for us, but we have to see so much more from them. All we've seen right now is Venedane with a 1-0 Neuro. It's not enough. So Maxi, I think that they're preparing to lose. Like, they're just like, alright, you know? So we can play this. Yeah. John could go boiling, so we could put this on top.
Be ashamed if they were.
I mean, I'm almost out of things to play here anyways. So their Milva version, it's possible they drew poorly though, because they would have played a temple play already, like one of the dwarves. Okay. Do we fight for it with Frigate? That's what I want to know. This is good points. This is also good points. Maybe we just... Here. We'll see if we can slow down. I don't want to spend Frigate here. Frigate feels really good. Like, give it Zeal and just let it go, you know? I think they're trying to flip these if they have to. John into... Okay, I still play this. Because John Amphibious is great and everything, but we get the resupply on this, so it's just better to make up for the lost time. Yeah, there we go.
What are you saying? We fight on my level, eh? Temeria has yet to speak its last.
What would I play? Probably just one of these.
If the king demands a head, I'll give him yours.
Take a look. Dandelion goes top deck. That's great. They have to play the last card. We hope that it's expensive. If it's like Simlas or something, we just win. Top deck's immaculate. I think I want, we want the duels. If we can get the duels, I think we're good. Okay. I'll take Dandelion and focus on carryover. We'll boost up the Selkirk, because we could pull it with Amphibious.
Are you my friend always?
Spend 2, get 2. Is it Selkirk or is it the Marine? Just take Selkirk. Last say is huge, so I'm just glad we have it. Top deck is that. That's not a good top deck.
Dogs that bark seldom bite.
I guess we just take this anyways. What a waste. I guess we could maybe play that though. It kind of works. Hopefully whatever it is here. Yeah, that's good.
You're dead already.
Actually, it could be the best duel I'm gonna get, right? It actually could be. Think about it. We got to get Simlas out.
Act your age. At 2 centuries, you behave like you were barely one. Racists. Aaron has shown us the way.
And this feels too important. I think we pass here. You got some carryover, which just means like Siege Tower playing is kind of attractive. This just dies. We'll flip it back. That's the hand. Everything else, yeah. Let's go. They do have Bowman. They've got the one. Yeah, we gotta be careful for a second one. We'll play on this row. That's a really good card in this deck. They might have Sensor. But they also might not, you know? Ah, that's tough. Like, part of me wants to boost it and then do all that, but I don't think I'm supposed to. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna use the boost late.
I demand satisfaction now.
And if it's Sensor, we get it. Unless they get rid of the one. Which is quite possible, right? Push something back, kill it, yeah, see? And Sensor here, which plays for like nothing. Plays for like... Oh, okay, there's that. That's alright. Just have it. I don't need to replay it or anything. It feels pretty good here. But huge swing from Zoltan late on. Like, I was surprised that so quick. So coming up here next, we got Ursine Ritual. But maybe they just are playing Self Wound, but they're afraid to miss the Melusine or something like that. And that's what the strat's for. I could see that. I prefer the discard because I find, you know, you get the tokens out there as soon as possible. Okay. Lock's going to be really important here. I kind of want to put it back, though, for that reason. I know it's going to be valuable. One of these. Get some big carryover with Dandelion. We take Raffords as well. I think we just try and steamroll. Because we could set up for some really big duels later, you know? In fact, I think we start on turn number 1. Oh, maybe it's Lippy. So they don't miss the Cyrus. Or Cirrus. That changes the way I look at the round, I think.
I'll give them 2 days. Officer, gentlemen.
take this because, you know, extra points. Makes for a better heat wave and all that, but if they want to heat wave it on the first turn. Okay. I like this because if they take the discards, they're pretty stuffed. We have to kind of, you know, realize that, play into that. Let's say that's there. We could take a winch off this now. Winch is kind of scary, but maybe it just, let's see, we got 2. Maybe it's the tower. A lot of Libby decks have Igni and Curse of Corruption and Heatwave. A lot of stuff like that, so we gotta be careful. I think we gotta stay in it by doing this. We can get the reduced cooldown here, and then we can play Radovid, and then get the Zeal for it, and then just stock up on leader charges. Yeah, they're looking for the carryover play, which is a little bit slow, right? So there's that.
Salutations.
Now, long round 3, they don't do as well because they kind of clog up. So they're looking to maybe win round 1 and bleed us round 2. Portal's going to help them do that, I suppose. That will be alright.
To the dungeon with it.
There we go. Now I don't feel as bad using Dandelion next. I think we have to. They're going to get 7 and 7s. 14. Take that.
The quill is mightier than the sword.
Let's go for a card we know we can grab. Okay. So we can thin that out, which is kind of nice. Good. They get 14. We play still. Yeah. Doing alright.
Not the creeds of others. It's neither polite nor safe.
I think that's going to be the only thing that is worth locking in this whole matchup. Because with this archetype, it's a lot of point slam. And then we have Amphibious to hopefully win the round here. They're running out of space, right? Take that, of course. I don't mind actually just going for something like this to see how we can pull.
Bloody wind. It's never like that.
Nice. I think at this point they would have used like most of the points that they have. You know, being up by this much is really good, especially with this leader. It doesn't do a whole lot. If they had a higher tempo play, they probably would have used it. So I think we're pretty good. Yeah, they're going to have to look for something here. So it's Igni? Or Arnagod?
Last words.
Or that, okay.
What are you gonna do, huh?
I think I just take the duel still. Pick card to move. It's already on top. Yeah, we need like a impossible for them to get back into the round type situation. In fact, let's take out a 10. Yeah, you see, Wildkarl plus like leader would do it, but it's just nice. Okay. I don't think boiling's too important here. That's a bit better. We could take amphibious for this. Is it the second one? It is the second one. Yeah, I think it's still worth it. Even though we boosted up the marine, we could still pull into it later if we need to play, you know? But this is just too fast. Even that's not bad.
My troubled ground steps livelier than you. Not without good reason. They call me stern.
We gotta greed the points out here. I'm looking to see if we can get that Cirrus out in round 2. So they lost Blue Boy and they lost the Regare. Okay, and Vile. Wildkarl full leader or Cirrus? There we go. I mean, I don't have a lot left. I think that that's the play that we want. Last say Gerhardt's kind of a big deal. Maybe they don't have Wildkarl in this deck. But who knows? We saw most of what they had early. Okay, good. We drew what we needed. I think we put back Boiling Oil just in case. And Winch. That's better. We just play whatever works best. Probably Boiling. Yeah. Boiling Oil here plays for the most points. Because they'll have those, like, tons of copies they drew into, so I would imagine that their top deck's really bad, right? All the spawns off the locations and stuff like that. Okay. I think I'm supposed to float that. They might have double heat wave, but again, the odds are really good, I guess. They played this. Gutting Slash is 4. You sit there and let this be 5. Of course. They have good answers to everything. We just take this and win though still. And we got... Frost is going to be so tough because we have a lot of like row locked or benefiting stuff. Obviously giving Zeal to Selkirk's good though. We'll see how it goes. We're going first. I want to put that back. It's a little slow. Winch feels good. Boiling oil might not be very good in this matchup. It could see some play though. Like most of what we have here. If anything, this is not really the best card to play. Boiling's really good for Winter Queen, you know? Maybe it's Selkirk that goes. Yeah.
I pass on every 10th round.
Fall overboard and I'm not jumping in after you.
I don't think they put a lock. I do have to worry about maybe them using like Toad Prince or Imlerith to destroy something. Let's just we'll leave it for one turn. Obviously Imlerith and Wrath is horrible, you know? Because if we're gonna winch this, it's just non-devotion frost. Okay. Gotta play something with cooldown, I think, here. I know that's what they want, you know? You think it's a Madoc type deck with Frost? I've seen some of those jumping around. Purify? They're playing too slow. This tells me I gotta take, like, Amphibious. We could just take that, maybe boost that. They play one more and pass, I'm guessing. Let's see if it's a slow turn. Okay. I guess they want to keep us in just a little bit longer. They get the squirrel in there, and that's kind of their way of doing so. Honestly, though, they played all the text. They got all that out of the way. I think that's going to be my pass, guys. Because that's the thing. 3 slow turns tells me we leave. They can get it in 3, but it gives me a bit more information on what they have. Is this a neutral only challenge? Nope. Hopefully it's low roll. Toad Prince feels bad for it too. And they gotta use leader? No. We're at about 24-36 right now, MMR. So we got Stockpile coming up here next, and if this is Muted Generator, then I really think we could steamroll. If it's regular classic, I think we have a big problem. So we'll find out, right? This could be a game saver. Maybe this goes back a little slow. We gotta really thin and get cards down quick. I think that's gonna be the recipe here. John is still good for boiling. I just want like a bronze heavy hand. I think we still do that. That's good. Yeah, it's Muta. That's good. Getting something like this might mean that we get Siege out the same round to make him, you know, stay in the round, or we get a quick pass, which takes away value from Muta. So, we'll see. We just gotta really tempo here. We do miss the 2 points of damage when we do play a card, but it is what it is here. In fact, because we missed the damage anyways, we'll take our time to play tower.
I pass on every 10th round.
There's kind of a lot of stuff moving this round. I don't love the fact that, you know, this came here, but we could just put this one in the middle. Kind of works.
I'm an officer, I'm a gentleman.
Yeah, it's definitely Rafford's. We want to get that out of there quick. Do I ever just take John Boiling because it's convenient? Nah, let's focus on the carryover play.
Not test my patience.
We get lots of points on the cooldown, make them start sweating a little bit. Right, it's kind of good to see here. Maybe that's a good duel. Here. We could decide though. Pick a card to play. Yeah, I like that. We don't have to use leader charge or anything. Plays for too many points. Okay, there's no way. With Amphibious and everything, there's no way. They're going to have to take Henselt if they have it into Pride and just full spend. That's like a lot of points. You know, we're talking 30 plus points. I mean, they have the 3, 4 within the leader. But then we get the cooldown points on the Henselt the following turn if they can't remove it. There it is. This is kind of what I was worried about the most, you know? Okay. That was huge. Because I can definitely deal with one scenario. Dandelion would be nice. Obviously, that would be nice. We'll put Winch back. Yeah, we'll put Winches back, and then that'll be what we pull. They pass here, we take Envoy, I guess. See if we can get lucky on something.
I said. Wanted the exercise, I said.
Sure. We take the thin. Honestly, it's probably going to be the support that we don't need.
What do you want?
See if we can get better here. Dandelion's kind of good. Locke's kind of good too. But I think we want to put Dandelion top deck here. We jam Dandelion. Yeah, that's fine. Use Zeal. We're just missing a couple little things here, right? Good. Locke would be really nice too. John plays for the boiling. And then we have... Wow. Yeah, it's literally boiling in there plus those 3. That's the hand. I don't want to risk, you know, anything. Okay, just keep boosting her. It makes it better for the amphibious play, like, you see? We're gonna keep getting those buffs. That's my John play right here.
Dark clouds gather over Temeria.
I want to give Frigate crew. We want to play it on ranged, I think, for that reason. Dandelion cooldown. Everyone's gonna play this card one day. I'm serious. It's a really good card. I love this card. We don't need all our leader charges, do we? Just take the one like that. I gotta get Frigate going, but I think we could use Zeal with the Frigate next turn. Okay. Look at this.
Army's a waste of time for one.
I think I'm gonna go for the engine. I mean, we're gonna take a lot of damage, so we can play on ranged. Play on this side in case this dies. It's really hard not to keep looking at this card, you know? It's really exciting for me. I don't know. Normally I'd want to lock one of these, but I think I'm going to wait a little longer.
If the kingdom arms ahead, I'll give him yours.
It's the last thing I need to give Zeal to. Let's get some armor going around so when they do take bombardment, it's worse. Can we lock? Okay, I see the play. It's just, Heat Wave is a losing condition. So maybe we just let them have what they have. I just feel like if they had heat wave, they'd probably use it, but I don't want to deal. I don't know, we'll see. Either way, there's going to be something to lock, you know? Okay, it's one of these. Make sure we do this properly here. We got the 1. We take that, we take that. We lock. It's basically heat waves a loss. Anything else we win. Good. Dandelion wins the game.